We're here at the Seattle International District at Jade Garden Restaurant. I'm Mike Kim, aka Fantastic Korean. I'm here with David Fung. Thanks, David, for being here today. He's the author of the top 10 Asian American rappers that was featured on Soompi. And let's go into it. So, what was the criteria for being on the list, and what qualifies as being an Asian?
Okay, so as far as criteria on the list, I took a lot of different factors into consideration. The list is for the greatest ever, not the best ever, and of course it's my criteria too. So I took lyrical skill and ability into consideration, obviously, song making ability, musicality, cultural impact, significance, as well as longevity of career. As far as who qualified as the Asian American MC, you either had to be one, full Asian, because I felt like, you know, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, looks definitely matters in this industry. So if you're full Asian, you got on the list. And if you had being Asian as a big part of your identity, you're also able to be on the list too, even if you weren't full Asian.
Well, and now we're going to go into the honorable mentions. David's going to break it down.
Okay, for my honorable mentions of greatest Asian American MCs ever, first we have Denizen Kane, who's definitely an underground artist. A lot of people don't know about him, but he was in a group called Typical Cats. But where you may have seen him is Def Poetry Jam, and he's the only Asian American MC to have been on there multiple times, and I'm a big fan of his spoken word poetry. Then we have Ty, who is a huge gangsta West Coast Vietnamese rapper out of Portland, and he's really significant. Flowsick, who's a gangsta Korean artist from the East Coast, as well as Lyrics Born, who's Filipino, and he's an OG in the game. He's pretty underground, but he's worked with a lot of great cats like Dilated Peoples and Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5.
All right, let's get into the top 10 list. Number 10 is my man from Koreatown, Dumbfoundead. We just had an opportunity to meet him in a show in Seattle, so yeah, let us know more about Dumb.
All right, so Dumb, what up, Dumb? Very cool cat, irreverent, very funny. He's important. He's significant on the list because he's the hottest Asian YouTube rapper out right now, period. And that's sort of where like the whole Asian rap movement, if you want to call it that, is moving. So that's why he's significant, but also because he's taken battling to the next level, because battling used to be off the top and now it's really written, and Dumb is one of the best cats doing the written freestyle format. And I think he has a lot of opportunity because he has good music. It's appealing to everybody. So he definitely has opportunity to move up the list. He's number 10 right now.
And number 9 on the list is Southstar.
Okay, Southstar is, a lot of people don't really know who that is, and this is kind of a controversial pick, but Southstar used to be in a group called Smiles and Southstar. In '03, he had a top 40 single called Tell Me. So I was around middle school at that time, and I still like that song. And he's the only full Asian to ever have a track in the top 40. And I think that's full Asian, period, R&B, female, anything. So that's really significant. And, he had a huge hit. You probably still like that song.
All right, and number 8 on the list is Bamboo.
Bamboo is a dope Filipino MC, originally from a group called Native Guns. I hadn't heard a lot about him, but then somebody put me onto this track called Slow Down, featuring him and Geologic, and the track is very dope. It's absolutely crazy. He's got this militant edge to him. He kind of reminds me of Immortal Technique. Definitely check him out.
Number 7 on the list is a guy that's in the K-pop scene for a while. I've been listening to him for a long time. From Koreatown, it's Roscoe Mali.
Roscoe Mali, a.k.a. the freshest Filipino, definitely a really influential person within that scene, within the Asian rap scene, because he really has his business right, and he's done a lot of tracks with E40, Talib Kweli, a lot of just real heavy industry cats. So to me, he's really representative of what Asians can do by working in the industry as opposed to just like creating a little, outlet for themselves outside of it. So I think that's why he's really significant. He got a lot of that LA gangsta bounce feeling to his music, and plus he also has his own sneaker, so he's embodying that like boss, Rick Ross, E40, like businessman, rapper, capo type persona, and I think that's noteworthy.
Again, the number 6 right now. Number 6 is Gio from Blue Scholars. He's actually from right here in Seattle. We actually attended the same college as him. UW Huskies represent. But yeah, just get into Gio.
Okay, so Gio is the most famous rapper to come out of Seattle since Sir Mix-a-Lot, and he's really significant because he's the leader of a growing genre here in the Northwest. It's called intellectual conscious rap or Seattle Northwest boom bap. And basically, he's really significant because he shows that you don't have to change yourself to be more marketable in the industry, more commercial. You can stay in your own lane, being an Asian, and still carve out your own lane in this game. So that's why it's important.
All right, number 5 on the list is Apple from the Black Eyed Peas. So let's get into Apple.
Okay, so Apple, a lot of people don't even know because he doesn't really look that Asian, but he's half Filipino and he's half black, and he's part of the Black Eyed Peas, which is one of the biggest hip-hop acts in history. And he's really significant because he's made a lot of songs in Tagalog, and he sort of put them on the albums, and they're platinum-selling songs. And he's lent his really eclectic musical background to the Black Eyed Peas' unique style, unique sound, and definitely really deserving of the number 5 spot on the list.
And number 4 on the list, you might have heard of them, the Far East Movement. They're actually on tour with Lady Gaga right now. So yeah, let's get into the Far East Movement.
Far East Movement, very dope MCs. They're from LA's Koreatown, Asian Americans. They've been in this game since '03. They have a huge hit, Girls on the Dance Floor. You guys might have seen it on America's Best Dance Crew or featured on a number of soundtracks. So very, very dope MCs. They're also the leader of their own genre. Much like Geo, they've sort of created that techno hip-hop, hiptronica, really dance-inspired beats. And they're one of the best groups doing it out right now. Hugely popular. They just signed to Interscope. I think they could possibly rise up the list. Very, very popular, very dope group.
We're getting to number 3 now. Number 3 is Chan, formerly known as Snacky Chan. So yeah, let's get into him.
Snacky, really dope MC, very East Coast street image, persona, had a firm dedication to real hip-hop, worked with artists like Immortal Technique, Saigon, Jizza, and, you know, I really like his album, A Part of a Nation. It's one of my favorite Asian American rappers. Unfortunately, he was never able to really get popular here in the States, so now he's part of a commercial mainstream group in Korea called Uptown, but very dope MC, number 3 on the list.
All right, y'all, and we're down to the final 2 of the top 10 greatest Asian American rappers written by David Fung, and coming in at number 2 is the Mountain Brothers.
Yo, the Mountain Brothers are crazy because this group dropped in 1996. This is before the internet even really became popular, and this is the absolute first Asian American rap group of all time to make any leeway in the industry. And they actually won a Sprite contest for songs, for like a song competition. And this is before anybody even knew they were Asian because there wasn't any internet. So they were just getting by based on the merit of their music, which is really dope. And basically they were the first one to sign with a major record label, but they were the first ones to experience problems that Asian Americans face, like how is the record label going to market you? How Asian do you even want to present yourself to your audience? And not to mention they made all their own beats. So big shout out to Styles Infinite, Pero L, and Chops, who's still making beats right now for Kanye, Lil Wayne, Jeezy. So very significant rap group. Not a lot of people know them, but definitely deserving of the number 2 spot on the greatest Asian American rappers of all time.
All right, y'all, the moment of truth coming in at the top spot. He's one of the best freestylers ever. You might have seen him on BET's Freestyle Friday on 106 in Park. You might remember lines such as, "You say I'm Chinese, well, here's a reminder. Check your Timbs, they probably say made in China." Coming in at number 1 is Jin.
Jin is the single most well-known, written about, revered, disrespected, loved, and hated Asian American rapper of all time. And that's a lot of milestones right there. An important thing to remember about Jin is he blew up on BET. This is before YouTube. People were file sharing, looking up his videos on Kazaa and Morpheus and all this stuff. And he was, as far as Asian rap goes, Jin was YouTube before YouTube. And as far as his significance, he was the first one to really get put on by the mainstream commercial industry, like really supported by them for a minute. And I mean, on his first album, he worked with Wyclef Jean, he worked with Swizz Beatz, he worked with Kanye. And these are like the biggest names in the industry, and that's so significant. It's only fitting, and I guess in a way, because he was the first to break so many barriers, that he basically has all the titles in the Asian American rap game, like in terms of, you know, some people love him and some people hate him. And I think the love comes from being the first Asian to ever get put on, and you know what he accomplished, and people rushing home. I remember rushing home, you know, coming home from school and trying to catch the 106 in Park battles. And I think the hate comes from the perception of missed opportunities, that he blew his shot. You know, he had this single learn Chinese, and some people may have felt that he didn't represent Asians right. There's just so many different things that you can say about Jin, and love him or hate him, you definitely have an opinion about him. So you know, for better or worse, Jin is still the only Asian rapper that the average rap fan can name off the top of their head. and I think it's for the better.
And there you have it, everyone. That was the top 10 greatest Asian American rappers written by David Fung. Make sure to check out his videos. He has an interview with Dumbfoundead. Make sure to check out Jin's video, The A-List. It's a freestyle inspired by David's article. Make sure to read David's other articles written on soompi.com and his own website, makingthemotherland.com. And yeah, David, thanks for the interview. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, check out this guy. And yeah, signing out in Seattle. Peace.